Hello, this is Casper Anderson and welcome to another Umbraco tutorial. Sorry for it taking so long, but I finally got around and found some time, and now I'm at least going to do one video, and hopefully more tomorrow or the day after. I'll at least try. So yeah, I thought today I'd show how to get a custom dashboard in on your solution. As you can see, if we go to the example here, we have the person. So if we try and press either here or right click and we try and press create, it's going to come up with this problem here. Let me just copy it and open it in new. There we go. So it says that what it couldn't find was it was looking for an edit page, which is what happens when you right click and want to create something. It looks for an edit page, and this edit page it looked for in app plugins, which is where we've located this, and then example, which is the name of our project, then back office, and then was looking for a directory called person tree, and then a file called edit.html. And of course we don't have that, so that is probably the problem, of course. So let me just move that away and open up our solution. Okay, so I've got it on my left here, so we have the example, we have that. So first here we want to create, add a new folder. We want to call this back office. There we go. And then inside here we want to create a new folder again called person tree. So person capital tree. There we go. And then inside here we create our new HTML page, which we will just call edit.html. So if we just go here and then just put in a p tag and write hello world, which of course very standard, then we can just drag this back, jump over, and then when we load example here, of course nothing will show except for this. And yeah, it's looking for that HTML, but of course I found it, but if we reload the page now it won't come up with that problem unless we try, or it won't come up with that problem. And now if we try to press create, we will get the hello world. So that's pretty cool, but this doesn't look very good, does it? Luckily on my other page here I have, let's see, where is it? Because I had to do this project once just to see if I could do it correctly before I did a tutorial on it. So let's go back in here. Alright, so we're going to create this from scratch. I could just copy paste in all the code, but well, where's the fun in that really? So yeah, let's do it. So first we want a form, and the name is going to be a person form, because we're working with a person object. So person form, and then this is where it starts to get a bit complicated. We're going to work with something called Angular, which is kind of, you know, like this kind of like some JavaScript. So we're going to do something called an ng-controller. Oh, I can't write apparently. Controller, there we go. And then this will be example, because that's the name of our project, and then dot edit controller. There we go. And then we want ng-show. We want to show when it's loaded. And then we've got an ng-submit. And ng is a kind of a directive thing in Angular, so that just bear with it, or bear with me. And then we want to do this save, and then we want to save the person. I'm just going to put this in val dash form dash manager. There we go. So we've got our form tags. Alright, so the difference between a normal, let's just open up our thing here. So you can see here that this is very standard, and then this, where we have this top up here and all that, that looks a lot better than what we have here with our create. And if we go back here, oh, that's the wrong one, and we can right click here and look at and inspect, we'll see that this, for example, has a class of umb-panel-header. So that gives us a good idea to what, you know, there's some ng stuff in here and all that, but anyway, we've got UMB, of course, stands for Umbraco. We've got Umbraco panel, and Umbraco panel header, and Umbraco panel body. So that is some of the stuff we want to create here. So let's go back into Visual Studio. There we go. So the first one we want is going to be a UMB dash panel. There we go. And then in here we want a UMB dash header. Let me see a minute. Then we want something called a UMB dash content dash name, and then here we can add a placeholder, and then we'll just write title here to start with, and then ng, and then okay, we're not going to do the model right now, we'll do that later, although this is finished off like so. Okay, and of course this should just be put inside a div, and we'll give it a class of span 7. I believe that's the kind of syntax they use here, at least in the version I'm using. Maybe in newer versions they will probably be using different classes, although I'm not sure. They'd probably break a lot of stuff. Yeah, so let's just go back and have a look at that. So if we refresh the page and try and create, there's nothing there, of course, because we haven't added what's called the ng model, which will display what we need it to, but we'll get there. Anyway, so that's cool. And then we want to go another step down. We want to create a new div, and we want a class of span 5. There we go. Just close that off. And then we want another div of class btn-toolbar. I want to pull it right. Oh, jumped out of that. Pull right. And then we also want to add a UMB-BTN-toolbar. There we go. And now some cool magic. Let's just drop that down. We want to add a UMB-options-menu. There we go, and then we'll be doing some ng magic in here as well, but again we'll just leave that for now. We'll come back to that later when we've done our JS file. Let's see, so that's after the header. Now we want to do a div class, which will be UMB dash panel dash body. Then we also want some UMB dash scrollable, and then we want a row fluid. Why did we jump out? Row dash fluid. There we go. Just close that off a minute. And then in here we want another div. We want the class to be a tab content. So tab dash content. There we go. And we also want it to be a form horizontal. And then, yeah, okay. We want to add some style. Styles would just be padding dash bottom 90 pixels. There we go. And then we want something called a, of course we want div, div and class, and we want it to be a UMB pane. And then inside the pane here, we want we're going to want some different stuff. But let's just add some text here a minute. There we go. What does it seem? Oh. Okay, apparently seems to be a problem in Bracker resource, but yeah, okay. Example, edit controller. It can't find this, and that was one of the things we specified in the top. So we'll get that to now. So for every of these HTML files you make, you have to specify a controller for Angular to look at, and the controller that we want is going to be an edit controller. So we're going to go into this person tree here. We're going to say add, there you go, and then we want a JS file, and we're just going to call this edit controller. There we go. And inside this edit controller we're going to be doing quite a bit of stuff. So I'll try and guide us through it. So first we're going to want to call Angular, and then .module, and then, oh, I can't write, module. Then the module we want to call is Umbraco. Then we want to call the controller, and that is going to be example, which is the name of our project, and then .edit controller, which is our name. And then we want to do comma function. Again, I'm not really great at all at Angular, so I definitely suggest you go and learn that. I never took time to learn it, but if you don't know Angular and you want to try and build stuff like this, then it's going to be almost impossible, because you'll not understand any of the stuff I'm doing, and I didn't understand it either. So yeah, but I'll try and explain just very quickly. Right now we're passing in some stuff. We're passing in the scope, we're passing in some brute parameters, we're passing in the person resource, which we created down here, and then we're also going to pass in a notification service. There is some documentation, I believe, on the Umbraco website that tells all this. So yeah, we're going to open and close that. Oh, there we go. Then of course the semicolon, which is to be needed in JavaScript. Normally I like to do my code like this, but as soon as I control KD to align stuff in the JS file, then it just jumps up to here. But that's okay. So first we want to do scope dot loaded. That's going to be equal to false. There we go. By the way, the notification service here, you can check on the. You can just go to Google and write Umbraco Angular notification service, I believe, and then this stuff will pop up. And what it is really is just a way where we can write a message to the browser when we, for example, press the save button or something like that. As you usually see. But anyway, so first this, and then we're going to say if. Then we want to check the route parameters. We want to check for the ID, and if that is equal to -1, which is our top node, then we want to say scope dot person, and we want to assign that something empty. There we go. And then we want to say scope dot loaded is equal to true. And if that's not the case, then that means we have a person at the moment. Then we want to go to person resource, which we have pulled in here, and then we want to say get by ID. And the reason we can do this is because of the person resource here. Then we can go in and say the get by ID method. You can see we have the Angular module here, umbraco.resource, and we have a factory here, which is a person resource. That's the factory that we're getting when we're passing it in here. So here we can say get by ID, and what we're going to get is we're going to get the route parameters, and then we're going to ask for the ID. And when we've done that, then dot then function, and then we want a response. There we go. Drop that there. And when we have that, we want to say scope dot person is equal to response dot data. So we're taking the data that we get back and adding it to the person object in the scope. Then also scope dot loaded is equal to true. There we go, that looks good. And then later on we'll have some other stuff here, so let's just try and go back and see if that didn't help with something. Apparently it did not. Let's just see here. I think I know what the problem is. Just a second. No, we have added the things in here. So we have the... Okay, of course we haven't added the delete controller yet. That's a bit of a mistake there. So let's just... Okay, we can create that. So let's just create two things in a minute. We want to add a HTML page, which we'll just call delete. And then we want to add a JS file. Oh, don't know what I pressed there, but it cannot be good. Can I go back? Ah, there we go. Okay, that's probably, yeah, okay, I zoomed in on that. So we want to add a JS file. We'll just call this delete controller. There we go. So now our logic is ready to be used. We're just not going to use it yet. And let's just make sure we actually have the proper. Let's have a look. So we're going to app plugins example. And then this just goes directly to the person resource, which is true, and then the rest goes into person slash back office slash person tree, and then the edit and delete controllers. So that is how that should be. Just gonna have a look here. It's a long time since I've had this project open, so I'm just making sure everything is as it should be. Looks that way. So what seems to be the problem? Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Example.edit control is not a function, got undefined. I'm pretty sure that is in our edit. Let's just open that up. Edit.html, because we're asking for example.edit controller, and it's telling us it can't find that. Example.edit controller, and just copy all this just to make sure, and build and everything. There we go. And edit controller.js, yeah, that all seems well as it should be. I think I know what the problem is. Of course, so when we do stuff like this, we probably need to make a change or touch the web config file as it's called, and then just reload the site in it. That will just rebuild the whole application. So now, hopefully, we won't get all those insane messages, although it looks like we will. Oh, that's a shame. Why can't it find umbraco.resource? Well, this is a bit of a shame. Let's just go back here a minute. Yeah, let's just put in some text here. Delete. Go. Yeah, that all. Okay, I see the problem. Ah, my bad. That it can't find because it's not called umbraco.resource. It's called umbraco.resources. So that is probably why. So let's just go and reload here. Yeah, and now it hasn't made the change, of course, because we have to go into the web config and just change that, and then reload the page, and it still bugs. Ah, okay, we're calling that from somewhere. Where are you? So umbraco.resources, yep. Just search Make sure we're not calling it any other place. Embraco.resource, and let's just check through entire solution. Just let it do its thing. Yeah, there's one of them, that is true, but we're looking to see if there are others. Just making sure that I spelt it correctly. Yep, that's okay. Now we're just going through other places where this has been listed. So as you can see, it is Embraco.resources. Okay, there's a lot of code we don't need to go into, and this is even the resources folder. That's just weird that it hasn't accepted our solution or our change. Let's try and log out a minute. Okay, let me close this a minute. Just reload. There we go, log out. Right. Okay, and there is the problem again. So it is definitely here. Example, it's not a function. What the devil is the problem? I guess we'll have to search for it then. Done something wrong, that's for sure. Let's just, no, nothing there. That's just really weird. I'm just close some of these windows. That all looks fine. That's fine. Let me just make sure I didn't misspell any of this, because one wrong and boom. Well, actually, I think the problem at the moment is we're calling something that does not exist here on the edit HTML. Okay, I think I'm gonna have to have a look at this for the next video and find out what the problem is. But one thing I can show you though is let's just close that. Is we go into the config a minute, and then go to the dashboard. Then in here, these are all the dashboards that are available. So if we go down here a minute, just open my own, and we can create a new section. So go new section, and then we want the alias of it to be the person dashboard section. There we go. Just close that off. Section, we want areas. That's really it for that. But then in here we want an area, and the area is going to just be called example. And what is special for this, and what you might as well do as well, is just down here, right, and I'm just going to copy paste this, that what is inside the area must be the name of the application, but in lowercase. So in our example it is called example, but it should be you should put that in lowercase here. So if you decide to change the name of it in the app plugins and change the name of the whole thing from example to something else, then change that in here as well, but remember it has to be lowercase. Alright, so after the areas we can put a tab Then we just put a caption, and we'll say that we want to list people. Close that off, and then last thing we want to control. We want to add panel, which is true, and then we want a panel caption. On the caption we can just put to something, test for example. And then here inside we want to put in the route to our dashboard, and the route is going to be like a tilde sign and a forward slash. We want to put just to take us to the route. We want to go to app underscore plugins. We want to go to slash example slash back office, and then we want to go to the folder dashboard, and then we want to create one called person dashboard board.html. Now of course this, if we try and just go back here and reload, we're probably going to get an error. Okay, no, not yet. Then we probably need to restart the application. Let's just go and do that. Right, of course we didn't get one, but if we try and go to here, then we'll see it came up and said it could not find it. So we'll create it, and we'll create it the place where we told it would be. So we'll go to the back office, and then, what would we say? Let's just find it a minute. So back office, and inside the back office we want to create a folder we call dashboard, and this DASHBOARD dashboard, and then inside here we want to create a HTML page we just called the person dashboard.html. Oh, we don't want .html. There we go. Person dashboard. Right. So in theory you can just put anything you want in here, but let me just show you something. What you can do is, if we go into the dashboard.config, we can see where when Umbraco stores all its other dashboards. And since there's no tilde sign, I'm guessing, since there's nothing here called views except for this one, I'm guessing it's going to have to be inside Umbraco, and then there's going to be one called views, and then inside here we have dashboard. There we go. Of course you could put yours in here as well if you want to, but I like having all my custom code inside the app plugins folder. And then inside here we can see how the others are structured. For example, we have the settings. There it has two tabs, and if we have a look at the settings up here, then we have let's see, startup dashboard section. That's the developer, media, member, developer. Isn't the developer? No, it must be the settings. Where is the settings? Settings. Ah, okay, at the very top. So here we have the settings one, and that's this one. And if we open that, then we can see that this is just how it's done. So if we wanted to, we could take this, put it into our own person dashboard, just save it, minimize it, and when we reload, boom, we have all the stuff we need. And as you can see, this tab here just has list people. What I think we could do is we could create a new tab. Let me just see how they do that in the others. Oh, that's not the one we want to go to. There we go. So if we go to the tab, we'll see that some places have several tabs. So yeah, so we could add another tab. just for fun, we could have one, just go down here, we'd have a tab, we just copy the top one, that's going to be a lot easier for us. And there we go. Let's say add people, for example. So the first thing you do is click on the example, and then you'd see a list of people, and then you say, right, okay, I want to add a new person or people. You could add people, and then say person add dashboard.html. So we just go back up into our dashboard, we create. Actually, let me just copy that. Add HTML. Where are you? There we go, HTML page. Person add dashboard. And then in here we can take the dashboard from, oh, I don't know, what should we take? Let's go from the forms, just for fun. Yeah, hopefully that will work. Let's just go. There we go. Let's see. Although there is some Angular in it, so it might not work. But okay, yeah, it does. There we go. So now we have list people and add people. We have the two tabs there, and we would of course just be able to keep adding. And well, yeah, the only difference now between this and some beautiful stuff here is the way you choose to style it. But of course, inside the back office, something as simple as an li element or a h2 or h3 tag Umbraco has styled for you. So yeah. Alright, well, while this video is running, I might as well, because apparently people seem to like the way that I show how I debug, so I will gladly show my the way I want to try and do that. So let's find out what the hell is wrong here. And it seems to be that let's just go here, reload, and there is a problem with the Umbraco.resource, but where are we calling this module? Dependency handler. We've not asked for this at all. Maybe we can search inside Visual Studio for something that is exactly equal to that and not just more or less equal. Yeah, we want to match the case. Okay, match whole word, I guess. Okay, did not find anything. That's a kind of good and bad thing. What can we do then? What can we do? I mean, this, yeah, don't mind that. Don't think there's anything special. But it is, as soon as we try to create something, then it breaks. And that's it can't find the example edit controller. Yeah, no module Umbraco.resource. This is usually how I would do this. Let's have a look here and see what Umbraco.resources. Right, this is the only place where that is. Yeah, we have that. Adding control and approval.resource.js. I was about to say, this seems like a new website, but it's not. Okay, maybe for some reason it must be the edit controller that we're trying to make. Let's just commentate out that code and see if maybe that doesn't stop the bickering. Let's see, application, person tree, edit. So it seems the problem is that it can't find this example.edit controller. So let's just delete that a minute, and I don't think we have. No, that should be it. Alright. Nope. Okay, now it came up with the title, so it is loading. No controller ng model. So of course it's looking for something, but we're just not telling where it is. Alright, and of course it'll be a long error there, but we're not gonna worry about that for now. So, oh yeah, you can do that. So this this seems to work. Of course you can't change that. Okay, that is a lot of errors that pops up there. Right, okay, so we fixed that. Now let's build upon this this thing. There we go. We want to add one more thing. We want to add a scope.save is equal to function. There we go. And we want it to be our person object. Yep, that all seems fine. Just open and close that for a second, and then we want to say person resource. There we go. And we want to save. We want to save the person, and then we want to do a function. Come on, function. Want to add a response. And we'll just open and close this. Okay. Right. Yeah. And then we want to take the scope.person and equal it to the response.data. And then after that, we want to do a notification service.success. Open close. First, we're going to write success, and then we're going to write a comma. Write person dot first name plus, and then just go like that, plus a person dot last name, and then plus there we go, has with lowercase has been saved. Alright, so now we have our save method, which of course goes into the person resource here and uses the save method that we have created and posts the save and does an angular.json on the person object we put into it, and boom. Right, so that is all done. We have example.edit controller. Maybe I broke something in here since it doesn't want to find the controller. Let me just try something over on my second monitor. There we go. Now of course we're looking for the example .edit controller, which is only equal those two places. Yep, alright. So let's just make sure I didn't destroy anything here. Angular.module. I'm just going to take what I created, which I know works, and then put it into here, and then make sure I didn't break anything. Yeah, that all looks the same. Person resource notification service. Oh, yeah, see, there's one notifications service I should have put. So there's one issue already. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and then I need a semicolon there, of course. Dear Lord. Right, everything else though seems to be alright. Of course, if this doesn't work, then it's not going to find it. Then we want to go to the edit HTML we have. That's not the edit. There we go. And then I'm just going to take again what I've already made and put that in. There we go. And now when we go back, let's open this. Loads of errors. We reload, and still loads of errors. Still can't find our controller. That's a shame. Don't know why it's finding this Umbraco.resource. That is really annoying. I'm just thinking, isn't there in the yeah? Let's just try and remove these things here, and let's just quickly touch the Umbraco config. Let's try and rebuild now and see what happens. Okay, still a problem. Really weird. Let's go to Umbraco dependency handler. No module. It is kind of hard to see. Okay, someone got the solution here. Okay. Okay, so I've got a working web.config, and let's look for a client dependency. Alright, I found that. Let's see if that is a problem in the Umbraco thing we have here. Search for client. Oh no, I'm wrong here a minute. Just take that away. Web.config, we want to search current document. Search for client. Oh, see, it did not find that. So there seems to be the problem. It wants a client dependency inside the configuration section. Luckily I know where it goes, so if we search for, okay, none of these are here. What about Umbraco? Okay, there's nothing. Okay, let me go there it is. Oh, it did find it. That's weird why this did not find it. Okay, of course we're searching like that. So if we search for client dependencies, with the config client dependencies.config. Yep, that seems fine. Let's just make sure we can find that. So let's go to the config and client dependency, and that is here as well. Yep, they all look the same compared to what I have at the moment. Yeah, that is exactly as it should be. Oh well, no luck there. Keep trying. Alright, just make sure there's nothing about version. Yep, that all looks fine. Yep, alright, well that seems perfectly okay. And nothing here seems to work. Really weird. Why is this a problem? Oh. Okay, now there's only this one problem. Oh. Okay, that seems to have fixed it. That is really weird. Don't know why that suddenly fixed it. I probably was deleting the cache. That can be a bit of an issue sometimes. So yeah. Anyway, that has now fixed our issue, and we can now see all the stuff we want, and we can push create. And now we get the problem though, because of course our hello page is not as it should be. So let's just go back to the start page and reload, and yeah, this is some avatar stuff. Don't think about that at all. Alright, cool. Let's get that to work then. Just reload here. Don't need that or that. Don't need that for now, or that, or that. This is fine. Yes, the edit we want, and I'm just going to find my own edit. There we go. Alright, so we have this Umbraco options menu. Actually, let's start at the top. So we have form name, we have the example.edit controller, which is now found, and on our form submit we'll do a save on the person. So all that's fine. We have the panel, the header, the span. Yeah, okay, so one thing we are going to add here is in the placeholder, we're not going to put title anymore. We're going to put at and then placeholders, then we're going to put underscore, enter name, and then we're going to assign an ng-model to it, and the model is going to be the person object, and then we're going to add a person dot first name. There we go. That seems fine. Span. Then we've got the menu here, and first we want to say that we want to do an ng show on the current node with a small c, current node, and then the current node, current dash node is going to be equal to a current node, just like before. And then we want to add the current section, and that's going to be equal to, and then in two of these, there we go. And see, before if we had one, just be text, but if it's two, then it's an angular like property, and this we want it to be the current section. There we go. That seems perfectly fine. There we go. Then we have the fluid here, we have that, we have the pane, and inside here we're going to add a bit of stuff. So first we're going to add a UMB dash control dash group, and we're going to add a label. Just try again, label, and we're going to put the label to be equal to first name. We want a description. We want the description to be the person's first name. Yep, there we go. That's fine. And then in here we want to add an input of the type text. Come on, text. Oh, I'm mashing all the wrong keys tonight. And we want the class to be equal to UMB-editor and also UMB-text string. And then the model, so ng-model will be equal to person.firstname. There we go, and this will be a required field. That's all done. Now we're just quickly going to grab that and add it an extra time. And then this time we're just going to replace first with the last name, person's last name. This is going to be exactly the same, except for this is just going to be last name. And that's going to be required. There we go, all done, except for one thing, and that's going to be, we need a button. So div class is going to be UMB-tab-buttons. And then we're going to also add the detect and then fold. There we go. And then another div. There's a lot of divs we need to add when doing something like this. So btn-group, and then we need to add the button. So button and then type is equal to the submit data dash hotkey is going to be equal to ctrl plus s, and the class will be equal to btn dash success. There we go, and then of course inside here we would just have the text called save, and in a future video I'll show you how you can get this to work with language files, so that if you're writing this in English and you wanted to have like a Danish admin panel or Romanian or whatever, then you could do that. Let's just keep it like this for now, so let's just reload and try and go. There we go. Now all of a sudden there's some stuff going on here. So firstly, we want to enter a name. This would be when creating or editing a person, and create. So we're creating a new person. So we want the first name and this one and this one. These two fields are intertwined. So whatever we write in one of them will go through in the other one. Of course, you could take that away, but right now we're just gonna use that. So the first name would put me Casper. Last name is going to be Anderson. So let's try and press save. Halt the URL, turn person not found. Okay, I think I know what the problem is. So if we quickly go into Visual Studio and we say show table data, of course there's nothing here, but you can see the rows are called first and last name with capital. So let's just quickly do that little change in Visual Studio. So instead of, there we go, first name, other places where we've made that error, so first name there, last name there. Just close a couple of things over here. Plugins, I think we're going to have to do this other places as well. Let's have a look in the edit controller. Yeah, person.first name and person.last name, there we go. That all seems to be working out fine. And then what about our, what's it called? No, actually that should be good enough for now. Let's try and reload that. Let's try it with Casper and Anderson. Press save. Back off example person API post save. So there's something gone wrong there. Let me just have a look and see what I've done normally to get this to work. There is a lot of hassle in creating these things, that's definitely for sure. So first of course is notifications service. So all the, I can do notification, okay, this is it because I used it. So that's one thing. It's going to be quite annoying having to write all this out, but that probably wasn't the biggest issue here. So that seems fine. First name, person dot last name. Just have a look here. Okay, apparently that doesn't really matter since I did that on the other one as well, so we're just going to do first name and last name with small, there we go. And that seems fine. Let's have a look at the person API controller, just make sure that nothing's missing from there. That's going to be inside the controllers. Person API controller, so we've got the get all, got the get by ID, post save we have, update and database the person dot save. This seems fine. What about the resource in here? So back office example person API post save. Bum, 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 bum. This seems fine. Yep, that is fine. Example, person API, and then, for example, delete by ID. Yep, that's all good. That's fine. Person object, it's also fine. First name, last name, override. Yep. But it's Okay, it's the data. Apparently that's the problem. Let's just have a look. God, recording for a long time now. I should have gone to bed. Anyway, doing this for you guys. I know a lot of you have been writing to me asking when the next video will come out, and well, yeah, here I am. Yep, that all looks fine. Edit controller all looks fine. Very, very weird indeed. Although I know I'm missing... I don't think it's the tree controller where I'm missing anything. We have the get menu node, menu 4 node, we also have the get tree node. That all looks fine. Yep, that looks completely normal. The API controller we just had a look at, that was perfect as well. Yeah, that shouldn't be a problem at all. Where else have we stored something? Person.cs, that's the same. And then we also have the register events, that's the same as well. Where could the problem be? I was talking about something in the back office, but I don't believe that should be a problem. Because let me just show you here a minute. Actually, let me just try that for myself. Just gonna boot up my own Umbraco project here, which should be the one that works. Of course, I don't remember exactly how much I got to work. So let's try and create a new one. We'll call this Casper 2. I'm probably trying to say save. Okay, well that did work here, so that should not be a problem at all. But this is a problem for some reason. Alright, I'll just have a look at this from side to side. I'm just reload here. We have the example, so we create. They both go to the exact same thing I'd imagined. Yep. Alright, so it must be the save function that's a bit of a problem. Let me just open up my things here and let's have a look at the edit controller, make sure nothing has gone wrong. Let's just copy paste this under each other. So scope save function person resource dot save the person. We'll do a response scope.person response data, looks fine. Notifications service success, person first name, person last name has been saved. That all looks exactly as it should. We'll just take this search bubble away. And we agree that the top one was the same. Yep. And we have the scope loaded. Well then we have the person resource here, which goes to the save function. There we go. So it is back office example, person API, and post save. Yep. And then it is angular.toJSON for the person object. Yep, that all seems fine. Right, okay, we'll try a new thing then. We'll see how far it gets. So this is the post save right there. Let's see if it actually even gets there. Edit controller, don't know. Okay, we can actually have a look in here. Let's try and debug and see what happens. Yeah, okay, we want to enable debugging. Of course, remember to turn that off when deploying. So, we'll load here. That might come up and say something. No, it didn't. Alright, so let's try Casper Anderson. Press save. Okay, it doesn't even get to this. Alright. What is yeah, this should get hit. Okay, then this is probably the problem. Let's have a look at this in the Person API controller. We have the get by ID, we have the get all, Umbraco authorized, JSON controller, Person API controller. Yep, that all looks fine. Oh, there is one difference. Ah, see, that is that's the problem. We've not decorated this. Oh, sorry, I have to jump out of here a minute. We have not decorated this with the plugin controller. Oh, I removed something there. Plugin controller, and of course that's going to be named example, and we need to add the using umbraco.web.mvc. Alright, let's just make sure nothing else got overlooked. No, it did not. Now I'm pretty sure that it'll find, because we're adding this. So, of course, we'll find out. Why do we have? Okay, there we go. Let's reload. Oh yeah, that makes sense. We stop the debug, and then of course that kills the site. Now we can reload, and we get into here. Problems, right? Casper and Anderson, and we can say save, and undefined has been saved. That is of course a minor issue. So, but that means so that when we go here and press on the example, say discard changes, undefined is not proper. Then, if everything worked, then it should show the menu items. But there it is. That is me. And of course, when I click on myself, it gets my name and last name. That's pretty cool. So yeah, okay, I guess while we're working on this, we might as well finish up some of the things. There is one thing that needs to be done, and that is the menu, I think. Let's just have a look here. No, actually that looks pretty good, although I do not like that there's this specific folder. So I'm hoping we can change that, the folder icon. No. Okay, well, let's just test a couple of things. So here we should be able to right click and say delete. And of course this is the delete menu and nothing is showing up here, so we need to add that. So let's finish that up. Okay, so this video has definitely gone from a how to do the view to let's just finish the whole project in some manner of way, at least. So let's go into the delete. Now I'm just going to copy this code and I'll quickly tell you what it does because it's getting late. So of course there's an Umbraco pane, the ng controller is the person delete controller, and then it says are you sure you want to delete, and then it's going to come with the current node that we're on and then the name, so it's probably going to say are you sure you want to delete Casper Anderson. And here's some localization stuff, localized key. As I said, I'll show you that later, but I haven't added those keys. So let me just actually I think if we, unless it finds a different no, it won't. Let's just take that away, because if it doesn't find it, then there might be a problem. I don't remember, but anyway, so let's remove that. Yeah, that is how that should be. And then of course we need the delete controller, which is not that big. There we go. So of course we're going to do as before. We're going to import the Umbraco, and the controller we're just going to name person delete controller, so it corresponds to this. We're going to pass in the scope, the person resource, and the navigation service, which is navigation service. And then we're going to go here and say when we press delete, then we're going to pass in the ID. We'll go to the person resource and we're going to say delete by ID, pass in our ID, and then when that's done we're going to hide the navigation, which is why we passed this in. And then we're also going to say cancel the delete, so when this has been cancelled then we want to also hide the navigation. It's just these two things. If we now go back and reload, we can here say delete, and nothing shows up. So, okay, I think something's definitely gone wrong. Let's just have a look here a minute. We have delete.html, delete controller.js. Well, this is weird. This is very, very weird. Did we add it in the package? Oh, I don't think we did actually. If we go here to the package manifest, okay, yeah, we do have the delete controller, which is the proper name, .js, person resource edit controller. All that sounds good. Person resource should not need anything. The dashboard should not need anything. Then we just probably need to restart the application. Let's just do that. So that it knows to pick up the file. There we go. Let's try now. Nope, still nothing. Alright, then we'll just go back in and we'll delete the app data. If we just go here and refresh, there's the cache, so let's just delete that plus the temp. And if I am correct, then that's what I did last time as well, and that helped, just not here. But as you know, this was the delete.html that we wrote, and it's finding that, but it's just not updating with our new stuff, which is annoying. Let's just try and clean solution and rebuild the whole thing. There we go. Control F5 to reload that. As far as I know, the back end of or the back office here of Umbraco is very, very heavily cached. So that's probably one of the reasons. There we go. Now it works. So it's just because it's very heavily cached. This is very annoying. So it says, "Are you sure you want to delete Casper Anderson?" If we press cancel, it will hide it, and that will be it. If we press delete and press OK, it's gonna show a problem here. So let's see what the problem would be. Probably just calling something wrong. So app plugins, delete controller, so we're saying delete by ID, and our person resource called it capital D in this case. Okay, all the others are capital. So yeah, so that is the problem. So we should go back and find, let's edit. There we go, delete by ID, just build it, and reload, and then that should take care of that. So we pressed OK, but nothing's happening, but again we haven't written anything. But I'm sure that when we reload, okay, it'll still be there. Did it register something when we pressed? Okay, so this thing is happening. Person resource delete by ID is not a function. That means that it's in our API as well. So person API control, sorry, not API, this is our, where is it? It's not the tree controller, it's not that one, it's the application, I believe. Nope. Oh, I don't remember where we put it now. Register event, person resource, we're just looking for the standard person API. Sorry, here it is. Delete, delta, see, there it is. Delete by ID, and let's just rename that so that it works, and then that should work perfectly fine. And then just as a added bonus inside our delete controller, if we go to our edit controller, we'll see that we have the notification here. So we want to say that, just put those side by side. So this is just the when delete, then hide it. But after we've done that, of course, then we also want to do this. But there is probably going to be one problem, and that is saying person.firstname, because we've deleted him. So we could, for example, just write successfully deleted, something like that. If we build that and have a look, now we should be able to press delete, press OK. Right, delete by ID is not a function. Where does it think that is not a function? Ah, okay, I forgot that as well. Right, this should work now. Sorry, I'm really tired, that's why I'm making all these very noobish mistakes. So let's try and delete. Still not. Notification service is not defined. Oh, yeah, okay, so now it is actually giving us the problem. So we're going to the delete controller. So it's apparently called notifications service instead of notification service. No, it's there we go, notification service, because that's what we've called it here. Let's see if okay, of course we haven't passed it in. That would explain a lot. Let's go to the edit controller, notifications service. We're going to add that in as well. There we go. Now it has to work. Okay, our delete function worked. We just didn't get the thing, of course. Let's just add another one. Oh, what is happening here? Cannot create property first name on string null. That sounds bad. Wait, just discard that. Right click edit. Okay, I don't know. Just this was on the edit, and of course we weren't editing, we were creating. So that was a problem. Of course, some of these things need to be fine-tuned a bit. But alright, there we go. We can delete. Success deleted. But successfully deleted. So let's just fix that one little annoying thing when we create. So that's the edit controller. So it's probably going to be person.firstname, person.lastname instead of the small l. I'm guessing that would be the problem. Anyway, let's just create. So another Casper and undefined. Okay. Not sure exactly what the problem there is there, but I remember I got it to work another place. But this is, like small stuff that can easily be handled. Just having a person first name, person.last name. Weird. But as you can see, if I just launch my original, just go back here and Bracco. It's weird because here I have a couple of things, but if I go to here and press create, one okay, so save, and that one it understands, but the other one it does not understand. This is the original one. So if I were to go to the person object, don't know what's happening with these menus, but it's probably inside. There we go, objects. Then it's called first name and last name, and in my edit controller, small first name of small last name. So yeah, I'm not quite sure what controls that. Let me see. Nope, I do not know. But if we open the tutorials and have a look, I believe everything should be the same. Let's just go and have a look just to be sure. Person resource, yep, say person response, and then we're going to add it to the scope person response.data. Yep, that looks fine. And my person object is also capital F and capital L. That is fine as well. Very weird indeed. Very, very weird. Let me just have a look at one thing. Yeah, it is scope.save. The only thing it could be would be the API controller when it spits back. Let's have a look. Last thing I'll have a look at, and then I'm going to call it a night. So we're going to return database, fetch person query, yep, return first default, update person database.save, and delete. Yep, all that seems fine. Well, this is really weird indeed. Not sure what causes this, but oh well. That's for another day, I think. Okay, it could of course be the way I'm doing this model. Yeah, I keep saying last thing I'll have a look at. We all know that's not true. Okay, so here I'm also doing small first name. They probably have to match up, otherwise that is going to be a problem. So, oh, that's not going to work. Last name, person last name, person dot first name. Yep. And of course also up here person dot first name. Alright, let's try that. Let's switch a minute. Let's just delete that one and reload it so we can create. And then so Casper and Anderson. Save. Undefined has been saved. Well, that is really, really annoying, isn't it? Very, very annoying. Come on, I must be able to get this to work before I gotta go to bed. Okay, it's up to myself, of course, when I want to go to bed, but this is killing me. Person's last name. That all seems fine. Yeah, that all seems fine as well. Oh, this should probably this needs to be changed at least. There we go. Maybe it doesn't make any difference at all, but I'm just trying to make sure that what I have that works I've changed over. Yep. It must be something in this controller. That's the only thing I can think of that would make any problems at all. Just not quite sure what that problem would be. Can't really debug out of it, that's the problem. But yeah, if we were to quickly have a look at it, then we go from here, and then when we press a button, of course we go through the edit controller, go through the save function, and then it's the stuff we get back from saving. So when we've done the response here, then it's the person object that we get back that apparently does not contain what we think it should contain. Scope save function person, yeah, person resource dot save the person, and then function response, and scope dot person is equal to response dot data. Yep, let's just take this and paste underneath and see if there's any difference. This is the only thing I can do right now, so oh, stop that. That is perfect. Yeah, okay, I can delete that. Let's put this in, and that looks fine as well. Can't see any problems there. And as this. Don't think there's any problems in any of this, but I'm just making sure. Yep, that's fine. Of course these two need to go away, and then the last one would be this. So notifications service dot success person dot. Oh, I thought I'd change these. Okay, that would explain a lot. Let's try and go back. And then refresh, and we'll try again. So Casper Anderson 2. Save, and there it goes. Okay, so what you bind. Okay, that does make sense. That does make sense. So what it is, I just figured out in my stupidity. Or stupidness. I'm so stupid at the moment I can't even say that. So what it does is it takes the person dot first name, person dot last name from this. So I'm pretty sure if I change this now to capital F and capital L, and then I go into here and change these, hopefully, if my theory is correct, that should work. So fine here, so casp save. Okay, of course, because we have not, that is a problem as well. These should of course be the same, otherwise it can't differentiate. So here, casper save, and it shows up here. So yeah, my theory was correct. That is how it works. So just going to put that. Actually, I like having it capital case like that. There we go. So, and of course, if you want a different name for this, you can always just take away the ng-model. There we go. Reload. Okay, well then we don't want the placeholder. I think this should work. No, okay. So you have to create a title for it, but right now because we're adding ng model to both places, both in first name both places, then of course it's gonna go like this. So anyway, of course, to improve upon this solution, you would try and see if you find a way to do a panel refresh when you delete something. But I don't know exactly how you do that. There is probably something so that when you go into here, sorry, where's the delete control? There we go. So delete, probably a navigation service dot refresh, for example. Don't know if that works, but let's just try and go for it here. So Umbraco navigation service, and then refresh. Sync tree. There's a load of stuff there. Okay. So this refreshes the tree. Navigation service dot sync tree. So let's just try and add that in and see if we can get that to work. So when we let's cancel the delete, we want to do that after we've so yeah, okay, hide navigation, that's fine. So after that's been hidden, then we want to say sync tree. The tree is going to be the example tree, path content.path. I think that's fine. Let's just see what he has in here, this guy who did it. Now playing content editing helper. He did content.path. I'm not quite sure where content comes from. Let's just try it. That's all we can do. Try it and then see the fire. So we go into here, delete. Now of course content is not defined, so that is the thing that we want to do. let's have a look here. Navigation service. So we're trying to sync. Sync tree. Alright, syncs a tree with a given path. Returns a promise. The path format is item ID, and so on. And so on. So to sync to a specific document type node, then we do this. Tree content path. Okay, like that. So if we took this, yeah. So if we wanted to go down into a node, then this is how we do it. But of course, we don't want to do that. So we want to go into here. Do this content path, and we just want to go to -1 really. So this should be fine right there. Force reload. Alright, let's give it a whirl. So of course right now we're missing something, so I'm going to go to the create, create me. So when we delete this, hopefully it will cannot find the tree content. Active tree has not been set. Okay, of course. We want this to be the example tree. Alright, we'll try again. So, Casper Anderson, save it, reload. So when I delete this now, hopefully, if I could hit the bloody button. Cannot find the tree example. Active tree has not been set. What is it talking about? This is the example tree, isn't it? No, sorry, that's the person tree. Of course, that is my bad. This is what we're looking for, I believe. Where did it go to? Edit controller. No, it went the delete. So this seems much more likely. So create Casper Anderson. There we go, I've been created, so I should be able to delete now. Success deleted, although it's not refreshed, which was kind of a shame. Let me just bring back that tab a minute we had. No, that was not the one. Okay, it wasn't here we had it. That's just a bit weird that it did not work. That's kind of a shame. Let's just have a look here. The tree clients path content dot path force reload false. Let's have a look at this again, see what it says. So sync tree. Sync a tree with a given path returns a promise. We already went through that. So navigation service. Sync tree, tree content path, and then force reload true. Okay, that of course refreshes the yeah, okay, we can actually do a test on that. So if I understand correctly at least, so let's just add 2 people. So 1 and 1, there we go. And then we'll add another one. Giggity. 2 and 2. There we go. So if we press on this, we can see that this one has the ID of 10. So if I understand correctly, we should be able to say here -1 and 10. Item ID, item ID. I think anyway. We'll see. So if we go back now and just refresh and delete that one. See, it goes up to this one. So when we delete, we tell this one to go, but we don't actually remove that. So that is the that is one of the things. Let's have a look if there's anything else. Content tree. Let's have a look through a couple of these. Sync tree, my content tree path, and then script minor.id, force reload true, then function. Ah, okay. Let's just try this bit then. There we go. So down here, navigation search, we want to sync to the person tree path. I think this needs to be in here if I know correctly, but this should be fine. Actually no, probably accepts both. Force reload true, sync args.node. Alright, let's try that, see what we get from it. This should be very interesting. Delete, okay, and cannot be property ID of undefined. Who is surprised? But don't understand why we have that. Scope, can't just do scope.id. That'd be a lot easier. There we go. Look at that. It works. It works. Alright, so 1 and 1. We'll create another one. We'll create oh, that's not work here. Create 2 and 2. So hopefully now we'll just delete this one and it's gone. Boom, and then we could just select a new one. Great. So let's try and get that to work together with our create function. So let's just grab this a minute. There we go. And then we have the that's the delete, so let's try with the edit. We still have the notification. No, so we need navigation. So let's just say when this is done, the navigation service in our controller. Sync tree, person tree. Yep, that seems all fine. So let's just reload. Edit controller is not a. Okay, that's fair enough. Of course, it can't find it. There we go. Unexpected identifier seems to be a problem. Okay, of course we're not. That's my bad. Alright, that seems fine. So let's add 1 and 1, save. And there it is. Boom. We could add 2 and 3. Okay, that's for this one. Of course, we're editing this one. There we go. But we can just create a new one. Say 4 and 5. Save. That's beautiful, isn't it? Well, I've learned something new today as well. So we just delete all these. Okay. Delete. And delete. There we go. Awesome. Right. Well, that actually wraps up the project now. That's a very, very simple project, but of course, if you go learn AngularJS and just get this under your skin with a couple of tries for yourself so you understand how everything works, then you could start building some quite big things. So yeah, so for now I will sign off. I'll go to bed, long overdue, and I will try and make more videos. I've got quite a few good subjects to cover. Hopefully I don't know if I'll do it in the weekend, but I'll do it soon, that's for sure. I will try and keep up. So thanks for watching.